from different suppliers or schedule more regular orders, some had their franchises taken away and licenses revoked. If even the cucumbers weren't sliced correctly, franchisees could risk having their royalty rates increased or losing their restaurant altogether. Considering all this, you may assume many franchise owners would want to take legal action, but their contracts forbid them from ever suing Subway. Meanwhile, things were going great for Fred and Peter. Subway was going international, opening its first restaurant outside the US in 1984. But unlike many other chains, they didn't choose Europe or Asia. The first international Subway opened in Bahrain, a small Arab state made up of over 30 individual islands. It's never been confirmed why Subway chose this unlikely location, but it's been speculated that the small size made it a great place for testing out Subway's products in a new territory. Fred was constantly obsessed with opening more stores. He'd set goals for how many stores they should open each year, and all the employees would think it was insane, but then they'd actually achieve it. And instead of going on holiday, Fred would go abroad to find new locations for Subway to expand. So despite some unhappy franchisees, Subway's plan for fast global expansion was in full flow. And to cement their reputation and boost sales even more, the company was about to take advantage of one of the greatest promotions in fast food history. Unfortunately, it would end up causing a gigantic scandal. Before we get to the next chapter, I think we can all agree that good customer service is crucial for any business, as happy customers means more repeat purchases and referrals. And that's why you're going to want to know about today's video partner, Tidio. Tidio helps you grow your business by helping you grow your sales and delivering the best customer experience. Thanks to their chatbots and live chat that you can easily integrate to your website or any popular platform like Shopify or WordPress. No coding is required at all, and you can get started within 10 minutes. What I think is so great about Tidio is they have so many ready-to-use chatbot templates for different scenarios, like turning passive users into active buyers, improving lead collection, and streamlining your customer service. And if you use my link in the description, you can sign up for a Tidio account for free with no card details or personal info required. And after you try their free plan and you see how it's helped you make more money, you'll also get 20% off any premium plan. So click the link in the description to start generating more sales and create an incredible customer service experience right now. In the 1990s and early 2000s, Subway developed a key marketing strategy that made it stand out from the rest of the fast food crowd. It pushed the message that its sandwiches were pretty healthy. After all, the ingredients all looked fresh, they baked their bread on site, nothing was deep fried, and the customer could choose exactly what to put on their sandwich from ingredients laid out right in front of them. According to Subway, there are technically 4.9 billion possible combinations. So in 1997, Subway started to advertise 7 sandwiches it claimed were low fat, comparing them to the high-calorie burgers and tacos made by their rivals. Not only that, but Subway could claim something really impressive. A customer of theirs named Jared Fogle claimed to have lost 245 pounds by eating 2 Subway sandwiches each day. It was such great marketing that Subway hired him as their spokesperson in 2000. Jared Fogle became the successful face and body of Subway, representing the Subway diet. His ads were a massive hit. In fact, sales increased by 20% after his first commercial aired. At one point, Subway's chief marketing officer reportedly claimed Fogle was responsible for up to half of Subway's recent growth. Fogle's Subway diet made him a celebrity, and he featured in Subway ads for over a decade, often holding up the giant pair of jeans he used to fit into. Jared Fogle was starring in TV commercials, boosting sandwich sales, and even meeting Oprah. Subway had seemingly hit the jackpot by finding this guy to be the face of their brand. And then, just about the absolute worst thing that could happen involving your company's spokesperson actually happened. In 2015, Fogle's home was raided, and they found explicit images and messages with young kids. He was convicted of possessing and distributing child abuse images and grooming and exploiting minors. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Subway abruptly cut ties with Fogle, and of course denied any knowledge of this. And to be fair, when I first heard this, my first thought was this was just really unfortunate for Subway, as of course they wouldn't have known. And having the face of your brand associated with something so horrific is a brand nightmare. However, then I dug a little deeper. It turns out that Fogle's ex-wife actually sued Subway, claiming the company had been told about Fogle's interest in children, but since they were making so much money from his ads, they did nothing about it. And Subway's controversies didn't stop there, as their health claims soon started to come under severe criticism as well. This is when the lawsuits and accusations began. Subway was accused of using a chemical found in yoga mats to make its bread, using a substance that wasn't really tuna, and having chicken that contained more soya than meat. Not to mention they were accused of selling footlongs that were actually only 11 inches long. Subway challenged all these statements and settled some of them out of court, although they did agree to phase out the yoga mat chemical. But then another PR disaster for Subway came when an Irish Subway franchisee had the idea of claiming that the brand's bread should be VAT exempt, because bread is classed as a staple food, so shouldn't be taxed the same way. The Irish government decided to investigate, and its analysis of Subway's bread recipe found it contained 5 times more sugar than the average loaf, and so it could actually be taxed as a dessert. So the whole idea to try and pay less tax massively backfired, and Subway's reputation as a healthy choice was in tatters. Okay, it's time for a very quick break while I ask you a favor. If you're enjoying this video so far, please turn on the notification bell for MAGNATESMEDIA. I'm posting mini movies about business, money, marketing and more, but just subscribing doesn't always mean you'll see them. So please consider turning on notifications and I'll love you forever. Fred had big goals from the very early days of the company, even back when it was called Pete's Super Submarines. In fact, according to their very first employee, Fred always wanted his company to be bigger than McDonald's and would never be happy until he achieved it. And by 2011, Subway had done it. Whilst McDonald's still dwarfed them in revenue, Subway was winning in terms of total locations. In 2016, the chain hit its peak with 44,000 locations worldwide, serving an estimated 5,300 sandwiches every minute. Unfortunately, Fred would not be there to see that, as he died of leukemia in 2015. By the time of his death, his net worth had passed $3 billion, and yet he was still incredibly frugal. One person even recalled him refusing to pay $2 for a bottle of water on principle. Whilst he was at times a controversial figure, there's no doubt he'd played the pivotal role in turning Subway from one failing sandwich shop into the world's biggest fast food empire. The problem was, he'd always refused to relinquish much power and control, and thus, when Fred died, there was no real succession plan, and nobody else understood the business as well as Fred had. It's perhaps then not surprising that Subway's location count has declined every year since Fred died in 2015. Franchisees interviewed by Business Insider in 2018 claimed that 1/3 of its US locations are not profitable, and Subway's business model has been described as too big, too fast, creating too much competition with itself and making it impossible for every franchise to make a healthy profit. Fred's lifelong obsession with expanding